Hello everybody, welcome to Quality Sewing and Vacuum. So fun, virtual. We have Charlotte and Gail today.
Hello everyone.
And we are so excited. Look at all these beautiful creations we have behind us. We're so excited for them to share with you how they did that. If you are new to So Fun Virtual, we have live in-person classes. Go on to our website, qualitysewing.com, and you'll find where all the locations are, and we'd love for you to join us in person. There's prizes, fun friends, and my favorite part is show and tell. What do you guys think?
Yep, yeah, definitely.
So cool. Community, it's super great. So welcome for joining us today, though. If you're on, you can follow the link that is in the comments below to all the notions that they're going to be talking about, and they'll have the 20% off discount until June 11th. And that code that you want to enter is MAYFUN, MAYFUN for the code. So don't forget that, because you're going to want that, because you're going to want everything that they're talking about.
That's right.
It's going to be super, super great.
Gotta get it
Okay,
on
with
sale.
that, I'm going to turn the time over to our beautiful Charlotte and our beautiful Gail.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gail.
All right. So, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
So
we had a lot of fun.
We do. So you have some ideas on that?
Well, let's show our quilt.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's show I forgot about this. This is my to-do list, and it wasn't on my to-do list to say this first. Okay, today is the day. And it is so cool here that you have I don't think you could do all these things in one day, but if you put at least 6 nice things down here that you need to do in a day and get those done from the top down, but if you have anything left over, you could put that on the top of the next day. And then over here you have your appointments and how much water you've drank, and if you've done fitness, get that walking in, and then happy thoughts. Happy thoughts for me is when I get my projects done.
Absolutely.
And it's like one's done, two's done.
And
this is a great way to keep yourself on track. And this way you know what you've done and you can feel real successful.
I've even been known to add something to the list that I've already done. Then I can cross it out. And it feels like such an accomplishment, right? All right.
Oh, God.
Okay, so the quilt's behind us, right?
Yes.
So this is one of the amazing projects that they have on our new book. And guess how many yards this takes?
3.
3 yards, right? To make this size project, which is just a throw, you only need 3 yards of fabric.
However, you would like to probably buy more, because we always like to buy more fabric. And one of the things that I learned, and we were talking about this in a meeting, is the things that, instructions. It's always good to read instructions first. And that way when you're actually going to sew, you kind of have a knowledge of what you're going to do and how they're going to talk. By reading through these instructions, I learned one thing, that if you're going to put a border on this in your binding, to get the 3 yards, you are going to have to do your seams straight across. But if you want to do them at a 45, which I like to do, then you have to buy a little bit extra fabric. And we always like to buy fabric, so that's not a problem. But that's just telling you that so that you know that you still can use. If you only got 3 yards, you're good to go.
Maybe on that project. I don't think they're all the same. I think they're a little bit different.
They could be.
Some of them, you don't have to cut quite so close, but
you want to read the instructions first.
And you can swap out your own.
That's right.
Right.
And then what I did, if you notice on my pinwheel block here, I thought this is what the pattern called for, was just this little very, very plain pinwheel. And what I decided to do was I put the colors in it, and so it just added a little bit more color to that. And I just like the color.
Looks great.
Yeah. And I liked it, everybody knew that this was my quilt because these are my colors.
Yeah.
I love it. But anyway, it was fun quilt. Quilted it on my long arm with King Tut. And you quilted yours?
I did. And again, it was done on a long arm with King Tut thread. We actually had a new machine at the store that I got to play with, so that was fun. And the other thing I wanted to say was, if you just love this project, right, and this is the big block 3 yard quilt book. It does not take 3 years. definitely not. But these are really, really large blocks. And so I envisioned those large scale prints or
Right.
those pillow panel squares, right? Not the full panels, but the ones that have, you know, kind of that mid-size you don't know quite what to do with. This is great for that.
Right.
And let's say you just absolutely love this pattern, but you don't need a throw. You need a queen size quilt. They have instructions inside the book on how to make them larger, right? You just have to cut more. It's going to take a little bit more fabric.
And they'll tell you the fabric amount.
Yeah. But you do have that conversion or translation in there, so.
And in this book, there's 8 designs. So you're not, you know, there's a lot of things to, there's the 8 designs that are on this. You know, you can see all of them. And it just, they go up real quick.
Yes.
That's the cool thing, is that they go up very, very quickly. Okay, so Gail, what are we doing next?
Well, I think we have some more quilting to talk about. So if we want to look over
Here.
a little bit farther, aren't those fun?
Do you want, let's bring it forward. Let's,
Yeah. So they are not only look fun, but they're called fun, right? They're called Fun and Done because you are going to do them one block at a time and then put the blocks together. So this can be any size you want, right? I have kind of a throw going here, but I actually have the fabrics to extend that out and make it twice this size.
so she hasn't finished it along here, so she can continue to
I can
add
keep
to
adding
this.
and adding and adding blocks to it until I'm happy with the size that it is. So you can go large or you can even go small.
This, you can make placemats. You can make pot holders, and I love to make pot holders. And you know, we always have those orphan blocks left
Right.
over, and this is a great way to use them because we're going to use this cool ruler that is called the Batting Buddy, and it is from Creative Grids, and it comes in 2. Can you see that good? Yeah, it comes in 2 pieces. So you have the package. You know, this comes with instructions, and we really highly recommend that you read these instructions. I print off my instructions so that I can, if I lose something, that I have extra, because I just, you know, things can get lost in your sewing room. But I read through the instructions because there's many things that how you could use this. I chose to put an embroidery design in the center of my block. I will put this in the center so you could see this. So everything on the top of this block is going to come out to this size. And when you sew all these blocks together, or all your strips together, it is larger than what you need. So you have to go back and you have to cut them to the right size. And so how I did that is I marked it all the way around with my marking pen so that I could cut that off. And so I'm going to cut this one off. And what I also did is I made sure that I made a chalk line right here, which is my inch mark, that I'm going to fold this over, because we're going to sew. Gail's going to show you how we sew this together, and everything is done in the machine. You don't have any hand stitching to do. It's all done, and it's great. It's a great way to do things. So I'm going to cut this off.
But don't forget to fold that back.
Oh yeah, don't forget to, yeah, if you forget it, guess what? You'll be making another block. So let's just do this right here. Okay. Now let's do this again. Okay. So my batting was a little bit larger, so you want to take that out too, because you want a real clean edge on where you're going to put your seam. Well, we're going to get that off of there. There you go. Okay, so now I have that all done, and we're not going to use this mat here. I'm going to use this hot ruler. Here, this is the Clover hot ruler. There we go. Done. Okay, the hot ruler. And this gets a little hot, but the cool thing about this is we used to have a metal one, and this is not metal, and so it keeps your fingers from getting too hot. Now I want to fold this back exactly on the 1/2 inch mark here. Take my iron and iron it really well, and get that in really well, so that when I go to sew these blocks together, I have this like this, and then I can fold it in just like that. And we're going to show you, Gail's going to show you how to do that with the machine.
Okay, so I have the machine set up for a straight stitch, and I've actually got an open toe foot on here. So where's my 2 blocks? That one and
This is cut right too.
all right. So we're going to put these 2 right sides together with the backs like that. And I'm going to line up the edges, and I'm going to take a really, really big seam allowance, right? I'm going to stitch right up next to that batting. Now, if you have trouble getting this to line up exactly on your foot, you can also use a zipper foot. I might use an adjustable zipper foot, the aftermarket one you can buy that gets really, really, really
tiny.
close.
It's really
right?
tiny.
But right now, I'm going to go for this one. And I've got a straight stitch. And I forgot I have a foot control too, so.
Move your hand.
And speed. I'm pedal to the metal, gotta go fast, right? Things to do, people to see, places to go. All right, so I'm gonna stitch right along the edge of that batting. And the idea is not to get any of the batting caught in there, but if you get just a hair, it's okay. But you want to get really, really, really close so that when you open these up and this edge is folded back, right, because it's already been pre-pressed, then I can fold that down like that, and I press them open again here before I sew. Then I can really get in here. This is where that open toe foot really helps. So I'm going to extend my stitch length just a hair. No, I'm not. And stitch, I mean, right on that fold, right on the edge, because I don't want any of it to fold back on me.
This is why it's called Fun and Done.
Fun and done, right? So really, really super close. Once I have done that, I can add 2 more to the other side, right? I'm going to do them in pairs or rows. Once I get my row done, I'm going to add my next row, and it's all the same exact method. And when I'm finished with the size, I'm going to just wrap that last one all the way around the edge, and I'm done. My quilting is done. So as Charlotte did her stitch and flip and then quilting in her blocks, I did mine slightly different for the Sprockets, which is this pattern here.
This one.
The other one is strip, zip strip.
Zip strip.
Yeah.
Zip strip.
But this one is Sprockets. I decided I wanted the blocks done ahead of time. So I didn't want to have to go back and trim all the way around.
Like I did.
When I put the backing on. So I pieced my blocks together. I laid them down over my batting. And then I used that little ruler to trim it all the way around all 4 sides, right? Then I knew it was exactly the right size. I laid it down on my bigger piece, which I used the other ruler for. Right. So this is a 2-part ruler, right?
Right. 2-part ruler. So now we're going to put this on, we're going to pretend that that's the right way.
Yeah, but here, move that off there for just a second. I'm going to come around here. So I used this as my placement guide, right? So I would put this here, and then I knew exactly where
to place it,
to drop that inside there, and then my fabric would be on top of that. So
it goes so quick.
It does. And so your outside pieces are cut this size, your inside pieces are cut this size, and it just all folds up beautifully, right?
I decided to use an embroidery design that was a quilted embroidery design on, you can't really see so I actually did a embroidered quilt. Yeah, this one shows a little bit more. So all your quilting's done. You have to understand, all your quilting is done at one time. And one of the things that I did that you could do if you choose to is you can either use the mitered corner binding, tool, quick binding tool, and you can miter your corners, or you could just fold them over flat. I like a mitered corner, so I did a mitered, and some of them I sewed and some of them I didn't. I did it myself, but I love to make hot pads and give them away all the time.
Yeah, after I pieced my first block and laid them all together, I did go back and quilt on the lines that would have been there if I had done it stitch and flip. So I am still quilted before I put all the pieces together, but I just felt I wanted to do mine ahead of time. So either way, right? And then again, those orphan blocks
Are great.
Yeah. So we got the hot ruler on that guy, and we've got the batting buddy. All right, let's talk about.
Oh, sparkling logs. Sparkling logs
this direction.
is a great pattern. Now, one of the things that Gail and I both found out is that this pattern is very, very long. Yeah. And it's got why do they call it sparkling logs? It's a log cabin block, and it's on point.
So there's 3 of them pictured here. The other one is hanging off the back side, right? This is a really, really long table runner. But if you have, well, it really didn't matter if you had directional print or not. You want to do it in pairs.
Right.
Because of the log cabins, right? So on the bottom 2, the green is facing out, the blue is facing in. On the top 2, the blue is facing in and the green is facing out, out and in, same. But they're opposite, right?
And you can, if you only need to make, if you want to make a shorter one, just do 2 blocks.
Just do 2
blocks, and which is the center. Now, the cool thing about this I think, is it kind of looks like this is really different here. This is just 1 block here. That's all that is just this block right here. And I did go ahead, I embroidered a butterfly on the center of all of mine. I just felt it was finished that way. And you can either sew it with a binding on it, which I did, or you can
I stitched all the way around
and turn it right side out. Whichever makes it the easiest way for you guys, that's what you want to do. Easy and fun. I used a 987 Pellon in mine, and I fused it on there. It's nice and thin.
Mine's batting.
Yeah, batting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're fun. It's easy and goes up quick and a fun block. But yeah.
And this was a directional print, so I just made them face, the people at that end of the table, get them that direction, and the other ones go the other direction.
I think I did that with my,
yeah,
I hope I did that with my butterflies. I'm not quite sure.
Anyway,
okay.
So it's a great
pattern. It's a great pattern, yeah. And so
all right, and so that was sparkling logs. You saw the pattern on that one, right?
Uh-huh.
Quilted garden designs.
Okay.
All right, well, we're over that way. Whoops. Now, I didn't have a full kit to show you, but this is the cover, right? This is a laser cut kit, right? This is the ultimate power tool because, that's what a sewing machine is, right? And it has a picture of a sewing machine. All of the pieces for this are all laser cut. And so you're going to get the fabric, the pink for the background on the front. You're going to get the floral for the binding. And
you're going to have to put your own backing on it.
Yes.
So
you do need a backing, but you got everything else. Everything you see here is already pre-cut and it's already in the package.
So it goes up really quick.
Yep. So Charlotte's is right over there.
But what I did to mine, of course, I added some bling.
Of course.
There's, I like the
That's
bling.
what we do.
And a little heart up here, and bling all over the sewing machine. But because this is going to go on a wall, and I decided that the thread didn't show up good enough, so I just took a fabric pin and I just drew the thread so that it could, if it's up on the wall, that you could actually see that the thread comes out and comes over. And then I just stippled it with my regular sewing machine, and I probably use King Tut or something like that with it. And
I use King Tut quite often.
I use King Tut a lot. And
yeah, it gives you a nice look.
Yeah.
So, if both of us did the same project, then, what fun is that, right? Because they're providing the fabric, so you're definitely playing with that. So I don't know if you can see on the shelf back here, but I made mine into a sewing machine cover, right? If it's a little featherweight.
It's so cute.
All right. So I had to cut mine in half. So we have the ultimate power tool up here. That's 1/2 of the wall hanging. There's the other half. That's the sewing machine. And I was able to take what fabric they gave me for the border and I made that into the side pieces. I had just enough for the binding strips, and then I cut a little bit off the pink for a binding that went around the bottom. So this is absolutely everything that they sent in the kit, but the only thing I had to add was the inside, which is, you know, what you would have to add for a backing on a wall hanging anyway. So
That's true.
I thought it was a cute little cover for a travel machine. And then if you're sitting at the table with some friends, right, and you're sewing and you need to cover it up, they can either see the sewing machine or they can see the other side of it. And you can trade it back and forth. Isn't that fun?
I love it.
I did sew my threads on there, and I used a triple stitch on the sewing machine. So it does, I don't know.
It shows up real good.
Yeah.
It shows up real good. And her quilting is real good on it too.
Yep, just did some single line quilting. There we go. So
There we go.
it's fun.
It was
yeah.
lots of fun.
I used soft and stable in this one to give it some body to stand up.
Yeah.
On
Mine's
this
just
one, but
regular quilting.
I did quilt
80,
with
20.
Yeah, did quilt with some
Okay.
King Tut. Love the King Tut.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. You want to talk about yours first?
Sure.
Let me take this down.
All right. So we have some animal kits again this month. We've done some of these before. Tony Whitney has amazing patterns, and they look wildlife, right? So we have Mistral and Liberty today. Mistral is a horse, and this is an amazing looking horse. I mean, it looks real, right? You can look here and it looks like you could reach out and pet his nose and it's all fuzzy. And then the eagle, just in time for all that patriotic stuff going on this year, right? 250 years.
Yeah.
What an amazing opportunity to do a bald eagle or something like that.
They're beautiful.
They are.
fun to do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I did, there's a lot of fabric in here. And when I was showing people, they came to my sewing room and they saw it, they thought I'd painted it. And it's like, it's not a painting. And then they get up close and they think, they go, oh my goodness, that's all fabric. And I use the cool little scissors in here.
Yep. Well,
I want to show you this. This is one thing when I went to get my fabric for it, and you just need small pieces of fabric for it. And I probably bought more than what I needed. And I'm looking at this and I can see that there's a little bit of thread because I used monofilament thread on it and you can hardly see it. And I can see a few little pieces that I have there. So all of mine was sewn with monofilament thread on the top. And in the pattern it says that you can use vinyl and you can roughly draw this out. So you drew the eagle out, and then as you place it, you know exactly where to place it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I did do that. Gail's done many of these, and she didn't feel like she needed to do it, but I thought since the instructions said to do it, that I would do it. And it was fun and interesting to do. We used seam on the back here, but when I went to the fabric store, I took this, I made a copy of it so that I knew the colors that I needed to get. So there's a lot of colors that go in there, and I just picked out colors that I had at home and then the ones that I found at the fabric store. And I bought more fabric than I needed, but you can always use that for other things. So, but I really love it. It's going to go in my husband's ham shack. That is going to be his. But it just, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful stuff.
So yeah, I would definitely start with the color list first. This is in the package, and the Steam-A-Seam, which comes in sheets or it comes in rolls, comes in different things. Andrew, let me do the package.
What do we need?
I have also done where I can take the Steam-A-Seam, I trim it down to 8.5 by 11.
I know where it's at.
And I run it through the printer.
I know where it's at.
So I don't have to trace
What's right
all
here?
of those little pieces. Now this is not from either of these patterns, so don't get scared, right? The third one, this is a giraffe, that has spots on him. But instead of drawing all of these shapes on there with a pencil or a pen, I just photocopy it, right? So in the package, you're going to get, or in the pattern, you're going to get all of the
I can't find your thing.
Okay, you're going to get sheets like this that are all the pieces that you need to cut out. Yep, that's one of them.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a layout guide. So I don't want you to think what Charlotte said, you know, you have to kind of guess to where everything goes. That's not how I do it.
Oh, no, you're going to have a layout
You're going to have a layout guide,
Yeah,
right?
But I went ahead and I did, since it said to do it, I went ahead and did it because some of you will want to do it.
Yeah. So you get instructions. You get the color thing. You get the instructions. You get the pattern pieces, right? And this is what I ran through the printer. And you get the sheet. So hang on to that one, that's yours. This is the layout guide. Now I would start with an ironable surface,
Which is right here.
well, I would still start with, I use a wafer light. All right, that's a light box, real thin light box. So it's shooting light up from underneath.
Right.
Here's the layout guide for the horse, which you probably cannot see, that's okay. I'm gonna lay that down. I'm gonna lay this on top and I can see the lines through it. And then once my pattern pieces are cut out with the fabric, then I can place them on here and I can iron right onto this. This is our fuse and view. And this is an 18 by 30 silicone mat that can take temperatures to 420 degrees, right? So once I've got all of my pieces where they need to go, then I can iron them. And that's why I want to have this on something. I can lift this up and put it on an ironing board if I want to, but my glass wafer light can also take heat.
Right.
So,
Well, also on that is that on mine, I don't know if it was on the horse, it was part of the head was done separately.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you will do that first, you know, and it's a smaller amount, but this is, you know, exactly what Gail says. I mean, I use a light box also, but you could see where every piece goes, but I decided because, you know, to go ahead and put it on the, and put it on the vinyl, because there are so many layers, and
There are.
There are
So,
lots of
yeah,
layers.
the reason to use the vinyl is, and it looks white, but it's actually a protective sheet that goes over a clear plastic item, right? That you can draw
real roughly.
Yeah,
I use
the
the
layout
drill,
for the
yeah.
top, then you're lifting up to add layers this way, right? If you already have your background layer down and you can't see through it, then you can do it that way. I just tend to do all of the detail sections, peel them off, set them aside, and then I'll do the main head and stick them all back on
That's the
there.
advantage of your fuse and view mat, is because you're going to fuse those pieces of fabric together, and you lift them all up as a piece, and you set them aside until you need to put them together.
Right.
And that's what makes this so cool. I mean, the first time I ever used a mat like that, I thought,
Yeah.
best thing since sliced bread.
They're definitely have to have those. So also in the have to have, right, is a good tiny little pair of scissors, and these happen to be serrated. And this is got a nice cover on it, so you can protect the points. But they are definitely
Sharp.
I was going to cut through your fabric. They're definitely sharp.
I cut all of mine with those scissors. I
Yeah.
cut all of my pieces to my eagle with
Yeah.
those scissors, and I just sat there in the evening and just sat and cut them.
Yeah.
And kept, you know, I used my scan and cut a lot, but I did not want to use my scan and cut on this.
I did on this particular horse, I did on the scan and cut, but my giraffe that I kind of showed you, all those little tiny pictures, I am working on with scissors.
Yeah.
Now, to pick up these little pieces, right, some of them are small, to place them where you want them, a good sharp little pair of tweezers is great.
These are very sharp.
Yeah, I have an open one here somewhere,
No,
but
I don't know where they're at.
it's probably down in here somewhere. But here's in the package. So these are from Gypsy Quilter, and these are ultrafine Easy Tweezy. Yeah, there we go.
Can you
and
see 'em on that?
They do come with a cap.
Because you'll bleed if you stick yourself with them. I trust me, you will.
You want to protect the points, and you want to protect yourself too. So you want to
protect
keep
myself probably more. Okay.
All right, so we've got all of those items to make these fun,
Very, very fun.
and just I think they're so amazing because they look like they're going to reach out and breathe on you or something, right? You know, these.
And I did the eagle just because of the 250, years of America. It's just beautiful. And I just did add a little bit of sparkle to the eye here, just for
crystals.
fun. Just crystals
can really add to that.
Anyway, it was a fun thing. And
okay,
now
let's leave our mat here. We'll just get rid of this guy.
Okay. You want to do the Lady Denali here? And
so now we're going to talk about purses and wallets.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Can you see those? Or
I think we should pull them up and
oh, good.
Put them on the table.
You want to do this one first?
Sure. Speaking of that, patriotic, right? You want to explain since this is yours?
Okay. Okay. This is using our waterproof canvas that we got from Fireweed Stitches, and it is the coolest fabric if you haven't worked with any of it, and it's a really large piece. You want it over here? Okay, large piece, and of course then we have the cork that will go with it. And I just wanted to do a simple bag. This is a free pattern that Sally Tomato has on her website, and I just did it to the pattern size. And then on my sunflower here, I did that using Press and Bond by Floriani, and so this was done on Power Mesh, and then the Press and Bond was pressed onto that, and then I ironed this right on. I did not embroider on the vinyl. You could have done that, but this makes it, it makes it really nice. This is a lot of stitches in here, and so I wasn't sure about the cork, holding up with that. But anyway, this is a cute little thing that, just a little tote bag. Let's see, we'll do that later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in addition to the sunflower waterproof canvas, we have a couple of other fun prints. We have
Octopus.
Octopus. Are you ready? I wasn't real sure about this when I first got it, but it is so cute. And everybody I show this to just thinks it's amazing. So these are fun, little colorful octopi, right?
Yes.
You get a bunch of them, they're octopi. And
we had one with the sewing machines, but we didn't have one here.
but we have the product.
We have the product.
The
Yes,
sample.
so, and this is our cork.
Yeah, so 3 colors of waterproof canvas and 3 colors of cork. So I didn't have any of the mint green left over, so you can see it in the package here. But there's also plum, and then there's the royal blue, and I don't remember if it's got like cobalt or sapphire.
Sapphire.
So this one's rustic sapphire, I believe something plum, rustic plum probably, and rustic turquoise.
Rustic. Yeah, I think there's rustic also.
Okay, so what did we make out of all of these, right? We have some patterns. We have a purse.
Did we not bring our?
Yep, they're right here.
Oh, they are. Okay,
Yep,
good.
this one is Lady Denali, and it is also from Fireweed Stitches. We have a lot of her products and stuff to all go with it. We have the Alpine wallet. This is more of a lady's larger wallet, would hold a checkbook. And then we have the Alder wallet, and this is more of a fold-up men's wallet, but that doesn't mean, a lady couldn't carry that as well. So let's pull these guys up here. And this is what we used all these fun cork and things with. So here's the wallets. But let's start with the purses. So let's do yours first. So here's the 3rd color of the waterproof canvas, which is the sewing machines. Now this one was around last year or so, and we're bringing it back, but it's kind of purples and
turquoise
and
green
sewing machines. Right? I think we're getting the overhead camera.
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
There we go.
And so you can see the vintage, and these are vintage sewing machines. So this is cool. There's buttons, there's thread, there's scissors, all sorts of fun stuff on here. So the bag itself is a fairly large bag.
It's a fairly large bag, and you saw that the zipper. Did you? Yeah, you did.
I'm going to do
You're
the
going to do
zipper.
the zipper. We're going to do a zipper how we use the zipper jig. It's to put the template to put this zipper in. It's really easy. What it reminds me of is how I would make a what do you call it? Bound buttonhole.
Oh,
You know, it's basically
similar.
the same thing, you know, except you're going to put a zipper in there instead of fabric in it. So it's very easy, and it's great to have. And then I put a magnetic snap on both the back and the front, because those pockets are relatively large.
Yeah, so there's a slip pocket front and back. The back one on the pattern has the magnet. The front one does not, but like Charlotte said, she added one.
Yeah.
And then there are
No inside pockets on any of my things, because I never use them, because if I do, I'll never find what I put in there. I'll never get back into it.
all right, and then here are my octopi. So here is mine, and I've used the rustic turquoise. I do have the no magnet in the front on this guy. I have the zipper pocket here, the zipper here, and the zipper pockets on the inside. This is just
We just stuff them to make them look good.
so I've got that same type of zipper here in lining fabric. Let's get it under the camera. There we go. And then there are some slip pockets, they call them, that are just simple pockets that you can put stuff in. And you put your own dividers in here. It's one big section. So if you plan ahead and you carry, you know, maybe you still carry a BlackBerry, right? You need to know where it's going to go. That's old school. You're going to make that pocket big enough for that, right? Or maybe you use pens. You want to make it whatever size you want. So
Tell about your straps, and I'll tell about mine.
yeah, so for the straps, I used the same fabric. I had this much cork left. So this took one package of cork by using it for the main base, but I had just enough to cover the strap. So this is one piece of waterproof canvas, cut 2 inches, folded edges over like this to make it 1 inch, and then I put this down the top, sewed down each side, and it finished it off. It gave it a nice weight, and it made it fit my buckles. So, or my strap connectors is the technical
Yes,
term for that.
so my handles were made with using the cork, and what I did on the inside of this is I put a webbing. So there's an inch webbing inside of this, so it gives a lot of stabilization to my handles. And then I just stitched. I didn't fold it in half. I kind of folded it in thirds when I did my strap, and then I top stitched on both sides. I did a double, a top stitching on both sides, and that's how I did it. I didn't have any Chicago screws that were the right color, so I just glued the back of these together because I didn't want to sew across it. So I used E6000 glue, and there you go. And I'll go ahead and I'll eventually put a Chicago screw in there.
Yeah, so you can do rivets. If you've not heard of a Chicago screw or don't know what they are, they're a 2-part, almost like a rivet, but one side is smooth or looks pretty, and the back side is a screw, and you can just screw them together. The posts can be many different lengths.
Yeah,
and
these handles. I mean, this hardware is also screwed in.
Yeah,
so it goes right. There's 4 screws. Yeah, there's 4 screws in each one of these that hold those together.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got the hardware. So if you want to make the Denali, the Lady Denali, there is a whole kit of hardware. And it has the strap connectors, it has the label, it has all of the pulls, the zipper, everything you need, the magnet, to make the bag as we've done it. And we have 3 colors. Today we have the gunmetal, which is black but shiny. We have the silver or nickel.
And then we have this.
And we have the brushed copper.
The brushed right there.
Okay, so she used the brushed copper. I used the gunmetal.
Gunmetal.
So gunmetal looks like this one. It's black, but it's kind of shiny. I don't know.
It is, yeah.
This one, okay.
They're very good.
Then in addition to this, we wanted to do some wallets, and we wanted them to kind of match. This is the gunmetal. We brought in black and silver labels only to go on the wallets, and they're a matte black. So they're not going to be the gunmetal. They're not going to match perfectly, but it is on the wallet, right? So they are that matte black. And you get 2 of those per package. So, I don't know where my other one went, but I used 1 on my wallet. And the other one's still in the pack.
I thought you used one right there.
Oh, it's right here.
Right there. There it
So
is.
these are additional. So you can buy just the 2 labels if you wanted to get labels separately.
Okay.
Yeah, and we must have those too, right? 'Cause you got
Yeah,
extras?
yeah, I have extra on that, yeah. Okay, and
I
so
didn't get
then
one of those.
we made wallets. Now this is, Gail made hers with a vinyl on this side right here.
That's that same clear vinyl, right? That we
you're right.
use for the overlays.
And I don't want to open my wallet and have that showing, which would have my driver's license on it. So I put mine on the other side. So when I open my wallet, I see my driver's license with my photo.
Yeah.
And then all the other things go this way. But one of the things that I think I would do is you could add a little bit of like 1/4 of an inch on each side of this, just so your cards fit a little bit better into them. And, you know, she cut the corners off square, which is fine. I was going to round them, but I realized I can't round them at this size. My cards wouldn't go in.
Yeah.
But, and then they have a special thing back here for your wallet, for your money. Now, I did put in my wallets, I did put in RFID fabric. If you're not familiar with RFID fabric, it is a fabric that keeps anybody from being able to scan any of your credit cards or any of your information. It keeps your stuff really, really safe, and I've been using it for years. And one thing that's so nice about this is that it's a fairly large piece. It's it says the size on there, Gail.
36 by 42.
So you get a lot of it, so you can make a lot. And it's easy. You know, I just used a little bit of spray glue to keep it in place when I did the sewing, because I did put it on my wallet, and you know, you put it on your purse. You know, it's just a safety thing, and it's great. It's great.
You could use spray glue, or you could use the tape. We brought in tape today. So this is very, very thin double stick tape, they call it. And this is, it's like 1/8 of an inch.
It is 1/8 of an inch.
It's tiny, yeah.
And it's a big roll. And then we have these just as cute little wallets like this. And, you know,
Yep, just like a men's wallet.
Just like a men's wallet.
I found it easier to sew all the way around and go back and trim up when I was done.
Yes.
So that everything was exactly the right size.
Yeah.
Because this is a raw edge finished, so you're going to use cork or something else that doesn't ravel. Any threads or anything that kind of stick out, nylon thread works great, because then you can shoot it with a little lighter. And that works great.
Okay, so you're going to do...
I am. I've got one more demo. We have 2 different templates to talk about. One is what Charlotte's got right here, and no matter what we put it on, it's not going to show up because it is
shiny.
Clear, right? It's acrylic.
It's acrylic.
But this has your 1.5 inch,
1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5, and 3 inch corners. So you're not going to have to go into your kitchen and find a coffee cup or find a can to make a corner. You know, this is going to, and it gives everyone the perfect size. So you're going to get the perfect one, because with a can you're not always going to. So, and then it has places here that you can mark every 1/2 inch on things. Has little squares here that you could.
Labels and hardware and other things that you need to line up.
But Gail has a real fun one that she's going to show you how to use.
I actually used one of those corners, I believe it's at the 3 inch corner, to make the curved edges for my sewing machine cover, right? But it's a great bag making tool. All right, so now I'm going to do a real quick demo on how to put that zipper in the front, right? That we have right there. So I'm going to do about half of it, because we are going to cover just the opening. But this is from Fireweed. This is
8.5, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the online bags. Well, I don't know what it is. It's a zipper template, basically, is what they're calling it. This one's nice because it's glitter. You can see it, right? It's blue with glitter. Sparkle. Okay. I'm going to have a piece of cork, and in this case I've got gold, that's going to be where mine was green. Okay, I'm going to flip that over and put it, actually no, I'm going to sew it to this side. Right sides together. I'm going to take a scrap of something. This happens to be more waterproof canvas. And I'm going to cut this the size of this. You know, I already got my glue on here and I forgot to trim it down, so we're just going to leave it this size. But this is 2.5 by 9, and it will give you the perfect sized facing that we need for this project. And then I am also going to draw with a ballpoint pen or whatever I got. I'm going to draw on the inside of this box. Right? This is never going to show. You may be familiar with this, and I've done these for years, but I did learn something new on this one. Okay? I drew in the sides just because I need a stopping point.
It's important. That's real important.
Right? I used to sew all the way around in the box. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to sew this straight line, and I'm going to tie off here. And I'm going to sew here and tie off here, right? I'm not going to sew the corner going that way. And I'll explain why. I am going to put my glasses on this time. All right. I would line this up centered where I want it, and all the way down. Automatic scissors, I love it. Okay, then I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to start in just a little bit, and that's because of the stress point. I don't want that stress point to be right on the corner. And
move your hand a little.
I'm going to go down this side. There we go. And I've gotten right into those edges, but I didn't have to sew that way. So can you pass me that? That. Okay, now this can be done with a rotary cutter. It can be done with a knife. We also have this little pen knife.
That is great for putting on there on our snaps and other things. And it's really, really sharp, you guys.
Yeah, so be careful. So somewhere down the middle, I'm going to cut that. And it doesn't have to be super, super accurate, but this next part does. Yes, so I'm going to draw it so you can see it on camera. I'm going to make that triangle to go into those corners. Even though I didn't sew that, I'm still going to make that triangle. And I'm going to make it a really steep triangle.
At least 1/2 inch.
Right? So can you guys see that? Right? And here's where I might get a little more
precise.
Yeah, I'm going to use these guys because I want to go into the corner. I missed the center here. But I don't know if you can see, I've also put some of that double stick tape on either side of this. But I'm going to clip right into the corner. The problem with going and sewing that way is you can never get those seams to start and stop where you want them to, right? So
I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your thumbs in the way. There you go. There you go.
All right. So I've got everything trimmed right into that corner. When I'm going to turn this inside out, and when this folds back over this, it's going to fold these triangles. And so they don't have to be sewn because that whole triangle piece is going to hold that right where it needs to go. So I will flip this.
I did use a pretty low temperature iron, and I ironed mine so that you get it really nice and taut. You could take a roller, one of our seam rollers, and you could roll over your vinyl and your cork, and it works out really, really well. And we've brought those in many times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, a roller works great. I did as well iron, but I went back and looked, and I have little scorch marks on my green cork, so you don't want to do it too hot.
You don't want to do it too hard.
Yeah. So I don't want any of the facing to show when I'm doing this part, right? When I'm folding. So I'm folding it to the back, just a hair. And then when you peel this off, it'll stay where you put it.
And this tape is extremely sticky. It's so good. It's a really good tape, and you don't have any trouble. I had to move a couple of things, and it was a little hard to move it, you know.
Yeah. So here I have a nice finished box. Now this is going to get placed over that zipper, and I'm going to sew that down. Now, depending on what kind of pocket you're doing, in this pattern, you're going to build the pocket around the zipper before you do this last step, and then your pocket's already in there. If this were an applique pocket, right, you could just sew this down to something else, and you wouldn't even need any lining. You know, you open this up and you've got a pocket, right? So that part can be done many different ways, but this I thought was just an amazing technique, especially not sewing the sides.
Not sewing the ends in. And also, think about this ruler that we have here. It is, where am I? Okay. It is it's 9 inches, okay, but you don't have to use the full 8.5 inches in here. There's marks all across this ruler. There's a center, so if you need to center it on something, on your project, you want to center that zipper, you know exactly where the center is. But you can make this shorter and just do what Gail did, is just sew to the end, whatever, if this is going to be to this inches and this inches. So it doesn't, you can use this for many more things than just an 8-inch ruler.
Sure.
Sure. It's a great ruler.
Extended or shortened. Yeah. So, but this one does.
And it puts the box in just perfect.
Accommodate that 8-inch. Yeah. Just perfect.
Gail, I think
are we to the end of our to-do list?
We are at the end of our to-do list for today.
Such accomplishments. Well, thank you.
It's been a fun
for joining us today. And do we have some
prizes and
any more announcements?
Yeah, I'm just trying to turn on my speaker. I think I got it. Come on over, Gail.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We had some great inspiration. I don't know about you, but I am really excited to go and make a purse now. I'm going to get like all the tools and notions and everything. So speaking of notions, remember that the code for this month is MAYFUN. MAYFUN, and then the link down below will take you to all of those products, and those are going to be up on our website until June 11th. So
wonderful.
Anyways, grab them while you can, and then we'll be taking them down after that. But thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Thank you.